So senior pictures, it's that time of year again. Every year there's a new batch of seniors coming out, and it's my job to shoot them. I love every time I put a senior photo into my Photoshop or my Lightroom or anything I do, I love to make it stand out and different from my last one. Not one of my pictures is the same. Everything is a little bit different, and I always bring a different style and uniqueness, and my character really speaks for itself. So we're going to jump into this tutorial a little bit, and I'm going to show you how I get it done. Happy Halloween, y'all. I'm going to break this down in steps for you guys. So step one, let's do this. Let's unlock this. Command J, duplicate it, turn the bottom layer off. So you always got a backup just in case you ever mess up. You can always go back to the beginning and start over. So what I like to do first, let's zoom into his face, alright? And right here you can see he's got a couple marks. So we're going to bracket bigger, and we're just going to click away some of these marks. Alright, so on to step two. Let's go back, make this big. Now I don't want to mess with the background and the foreground. I don't want to mess it up too much by putting all these effects in there and start cleaning the skin up. So what I want to do for step two, do this a little bit quick just because I'm tutorial in this. We're going to take our pen tool and we're going to cut him out. Okay, now that we have him cut out, go up to the picture, hover over it, Command Enter on a Mac. You'll see the little marching ants. Now after you do that, Command J. Now see right here, it cuts your foreground out of your background. So now we want to hit Command, have that little box on your glove, click it, you'll see the marching ants once again. Go down here, click that, go to Edit, Fill, Content Aware, click OK. Now let it do its thing. There, now look. You click and it's gone. Content Aware did a great job of replacing this. Click on something, the select tool to deselect it. Marching ants are gone. You can still see the outline of his body a little bit. Go over here into your clone stamp tool, bracket it bigger, and we're going to hold down the Alt Option key. And we're just going to pick the area around. Even though your foreground is going to cover up your background, you want to give it a little dimension when you bring your subject back in. So I kind of just clean it up just a little bit. On to step 3. Alright, so we got our foreground and background cut out. Now I'm going to show you Selective Colors and Color Mixer. We're going to give this a little autumn effect to make it look nice and cool. So it is about to be fall time here, so let's just church this up a little bit as you see the church in the background. LOL, play on words. So we go here, click, make sure your background's selected, and we're going to click on, the half moon down here, and you're going to go to, where's it at? Channel Mixer. Channel Mixer, since our greens are all green, or all the leaves are green, we're going to bring the greens all the way up. Keep this red. Take our reds, bring it down. Just a little bit in the negative, like negative 30 or 40. It's really a preference. I'm just going to show you the general. We'll do negative 52. Then you want to bring your blues out just a little bit. Take the blues out. And there you go, nice little autumn effect. And we can make this a little bit better by clicking down on the half moon again, and let's go to Selective Color. Now make sure your color selected is yellow, because the majority of the leaves now are yellow. Go down here to yellow, and let's bring this out just a little bit. It's really your preference of what you like. And you go to your reds, and that's cyan. We'll bring that up just a little bit. Take the yellow, bring it up a little bit, and play around with this, you know, whatever preference you want or whatever time of year you're going for. You can get this nice and bright if you take it all the way to negative 100 cyan, and then extreme yellow right here with the plus 91. You can just mess around with the slider a little bit to whatever you want. So there's selective color and channel mixer to get the greens out and give it that little autumn effect. There's your step 3. Alright, on to step 4. Let's bring our foreground back. Bring in that face, and we're going to hit Command J to duplicate it. Go to Filter, Other, High Pass, and anywhere between 5 and 20 is cool. We'll do 13. Click OK. Now you go up to the blending mode, and let's overlay this. Command I to invert it. It's going to be nice and blurry. Then go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and where you can start seeing the face's details a little bit. So we'll do about 3.2. We'll do 2.1. How about that? Click OK. Now that you got it all nice and blurry, we're going to go down here to the mask while it's still selected on this layer. Hold down the Alt button and click it. It's going to bring up a black layer mask. We're going to go to your selection color. We'll make sure it's white. Go up here to the paintbrush, go to the paint brushes, and pick a nice soft brush. One of these two is usually what I go with. And now after you got the paintbrush, let's make it a little bit bigger. Now you'll see right here in the black, everywhere we touch, it's going to start airbrushing. Get that red out of the nose a little bit. Get that out a little bit. Just want to give them some nice... Keep some of the features in there. Make it look more realistic. Kind of just brush around with it a little bit. Get rid of that mark down there. There you go. We'll clean up the neck a little bit as well. You can paint. I'm just more cautious with mine. Alright, step 5. So we're going to separate the foreground and background just a little bit more, and we'll wrap this up. So let's take away our foreground, our subject, and we'll go back to the background right here. And what I like to do is go to Filter, Blur, Tilt Shift Blur. See these little boxes pop up. We'll get the arrow till it has a little curved effect, and we'll spin this around to match the subject's body language. Let's move this out a little bit. You bring it in and see it'll be more blurry, less blurry. And you bring that in, it's more blurry. You can pretty much wherever you want the blur to be. We'll go about right there to right there. There. Now you go right here, this little circle, and we just move it up a little bit more than halfway, and you got this nice little added blur to it. See, if you go extreme, it blurs it all the way out. We don't want to do that. We'll just do a little bit more than halfway. Click OK, and there you go. Photoshop puts a little bit more bokeh into your photos. Alright, this is the last thing I do, step 6, to give my photo a little bit more character and make it stand out from the rest, is we go down to the little half moon down here, and we're going to go to brightness and contrast. I'm going to bring this contrast all the way up, and since we're going to add a gradient next, we're going to bring the contrast a little bit more than usual. So 100 on the contrast, and maybe... You know what, we'll just do 5 on brightness. Then we go back down to the half moon and we go to gradient and we click the down arrow for the gradient, and I'm going to choose purple and orange. Purple on the bottom, orange at top. You can move this any which way you want. Give it that more of that feel. So that looks about good to me. Click OK. Go to the opacity, run it all the way down. See, it's nowhere to be found because you got the opacity at 0. And we just start bringing it up just a little bit. Nothing more than like 20. Click OK. And there you go. That's how I edit my senior pictures. I would still maybe bring the gradient down just a tad bit more. Maybe 17. And that's how I do my senior pictures. Everyone else is different, but like I said, mine just has a little bit different flair to it than anyone else. So if you'd like to get a hold of me for pictures in the Metro Detroit area or anywhere on Michigan, just please subscribe below, get a hold of me, email me, detroitpostproduction@gmail.com. So yep, if you guys haven't done so already, please subscribe. Giving away another GoPro Hero 6. Just please get a hold of me anytime you want, detroitpostproduction@gmail.com. Facebook, Detroit Post Production, YouTube, Detroit Post Production, Instagram, Detroit Post Production, Twitter, Detroit Post Production, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Let's keep this train moving, and see you tomorrow. Halloween time, Halloween time, Halloween time, Halloween time, Halloween time. GoPro Hero 6. Subscribe and get yours today.